Hey, everybody. Hope y'all are doing well tonight. Just trying to make sure we are all good to go here. Had a few last minute technical difficulties, and it looks like we're coming through okay. If y'all can hear me, please say hello. Would love to hear from y'all tonight. We got a lot to cover. This is one of my favorite subjects. I'm gonna go ahead and throw this up there, and I would love to know what your earliest Disney memory is. And just to kind of go ahead and put this disclaimer out there, if you do comment, just know that I might share your comment live. Just want to give you a heads up. So if you would rather not me not share your name, only share first names from posts that are made on my personal feed. So if you would don't mind your comment being shared live, go ahead and drop it in the show feed tonight, and would love to do that. And would love to know what your earliest Disney memory was, more specifically related to your favorite holiday tradition. So there are a lot of amazing holiday traditions that are out there, and would love to. I'm going to go ahead and put this in here because this is pre-show, so this is like real talk, y'all. This is kind of how it goes. So I hope y'all are doing okay out there. So probably hear the clicking of my keyboard over here. So this is high quality production stuff. So this is what happens when you are talking about a subject that you are very very passionate about. It takes a little bit longer than normal to get going. So didn't wait till the last second on this one, but anyway, so I hope y'all are doing well tonight. I am very thankful that you all have popped on, and we're going to get started here officially here in just a moment. Again, very excited to cover a lot of great content tonight, and let's get started, shall we? Tonight, this is Travel Tips Tuesday, and it is July the 13th, 2021. We're going to talk about the holidays at Disney, why you should go, planning, and more. So there are a lot of different reasons why I think traveling to the Walt Disney World Resort, specifically, also maybe a Disney Cruise Line vacation or some of the other Disney destinations worldwide. There are a lot of different reasons why I think those places are great places to go during the holiday season. They're even, one might say, more magical than they are during the other times of the year. And again, our question of the day tonight is this: what is your favorite Disney holiday tradition? I would love to hear from you. If you have been there before, if you've heard about one, if there's one that you want to see come back, hopefully this year. And we're going to talk about some of those here in just a little bit. We're going to go in detail through some news that Disney has released over the past few days. So going to be pretty exciting. But before we go in there, I do want to talk about a couple of pieces of Disney news. We're not going to camp out too long here because some of the content tonight is actually Disney news, but I'm going to give you kind of a personal take on it that I think hopefully will be helpful to you moving forward. So as of today, tickets are available for the Oogie Boogie Bash at the Disneyland Resort. So the Oogie Boogie Bash is the basically West Coast version, so to speak, of the Boo Bash that is happening at the Walt Disney World Resort in Florida. So the Oogie Boogie Bash has happened before. They've kind of brought it back in very similar concept to what's going on in the Walt Disney World Resort. But Oogie Boogie is from The Nightmare Before Christmas. The villain of The Nightmare Before Christmas is kind of the poster child of it. The Nightmare Before Christmas is in a lot of different places. The seasonal kind of traditional holiday overlay, typically for the Honeymoon attraction at Disneyland, usually starts around September and then moves through, the September, October through the Halloween kind of celebration timeframe, and even on through Thanksgiving and into the Christmas season, because it kind of bridges the gap. And of course, they kind of feature Oogie Boogie there for the Halloween party. It is a separate ticketed event. If you do have questions about that, if you're traveling to the Disneyland Resort, we'd love to answer any questions that you may have about it as far as availability of tickets, cost, pricing, scheduling, all that kind of stuff. Any details that you may have, please let me know. Again, it's very similar in scope to the Boo Bash that's going to happen at Walt Disney World. Few kind of key differences, but not many. Also, there are some new trailers for a new Disney Plus series. We don't talk about Disney Plus a lot, but I wanted to specifically mention this because it has to do with Disney parks. There's a new series coming out called Behind the Attraction. I believe it premieres. There are 10 episodes that premieres on July the 21st. It's going to take a look at a lot of the classic and even more modern Disney attractions, sort of go behind the scenes and see, what their stories are, where they came from, and look at it from a number of different points of view. So it takes some of the concepts. If you have watched the Imagineering story on Disney Plus, it's similar in scope, but I think a little bit more lighter as far as content goes. So, it's probably has a little bit more, entertainment value, as opposed to, this is just personal opinion based on the trailer that I've seen, a little bit more kind of entertainment value versus the more kind of classic documentary style that you got with Imagineering story. And I'm looking forward to seeing it. Like, I'm excited. One of my favorite attractions, the Tower of Terror, is mentioned in that. And as you all know, for 20 plus episodes ago or so, we had former Imagineer McNair Wilson on the show to talk about his role in the creation of the Tower of Terror. So I'm excited to see what they're going to say about it, and hopefully learn some things that we didn't know before. They're going to talk about the Jungle Cruise, It's a Small World, and several other classic attractions that are out there. So very excited to see that. So let's dig into the content for tonight. Again, this is our conversation that we're going to be having if you're just hopping on. That is the holidays at Disney, why you should go, planning, and more. There's all sorts of different reasons that I think that you should go to Walt Disney World during the holidays. Again, it's extra magical for a number of reasons, like the attractions that you will see. We talked about the holiday overlay that happens at Disneyland out in California with the Haunted Mansion. There are also, some that happen in Walt Disney World as well. That there hasn't been a formal announcement about this, but I would not be surprised if we see it back. And that is the Jingle Cruise. So they convert the Jungle Cruise into the Jingle Cruise. It's a very simple holiday overlay that's very lighthearted. The jokes change kind of seasonally, and it's a lot of fun. So I'm looking forward to seeing that coming back. And I actually had a bunch of really cool pictures that I was trying to upload. It's part of the reason for the technical issues. Again, real talk here. And weren't able to get those on there, but trust me, it's something that you will absolutely love and see. Of course, lights all around, food, lots of seasonal food that you won't see, not just, shortbread cookies and frosted sugar cookies and cupcakes, but, they take the holiday food offerings to the next level in a lot of different ways. So definitely check that out at the table service restaurants, quick service, different types of kiosks that you'll see special things available during the holiday season. And it is something that as we get closer to the holiday season, when more details are released, we will spend, probably a whole episode on food, if I'm being honest. Most people, whenever they have those conversations, always leave hungry and a little hangry too, because they can't have all those things right then. Also, character costumes. So characters are typically available for pictures, socially distant and whatnot. Kind of these days, at least, they'll have their, kind of Christmas Santa hats on, and their kind of Christmas plaid gear on. In some cases, it's a little bit more kind of generically winter themed, but it's just kind of happy. It's merry, and it's very merry, as the case may be, if you want to use some Disney language. And it's just kind of fun to see it. Everybody's, for the most part, is in a really good mood, and sort of happy and cheery, and it's just a great place to be. The shows, so a lot of times. Sometimes, they will have specific shows that they will bring in seasonally, or add a slight twist to some of the live entertainment that you will see. I'm looking forward to hopefully seeing more of that back this year, definitely versus what we saw last time around. And again, those extra magical offerings are, or all over the parks for sure, but they're also in the resort hotels. They're also at Disney Springs, like we've seen the tree trail available at Disney Springs, where you can see all these different kinds of Christmas trees decorated. There's garland, there's lights, there's festive music played everywhere at Disney Springs. You see these magnificent trees, and even sometimes gingerbread houses that they're bringing back this year that we'll mention here in just a few moments. So lots of really cool things to see. The smells too. Oh my goodness. The smells are absolutely amazing around the resort, in the hotels and the parks and Disney Springs and everywhere. So it's just, again, it's an extra magical time to experience the Walt Disney World Resort, and I highly, highly recommend it. I'm kind of partial to it because my wife and I honeymooned there during the holiday season, and it was an amazing time for a number of different reasons. Also, a couple of other reasons why it's a good time to travel during the holiday season is this. Number one, kids are out of school. So one of the issues that I run into planning vacations for families, a lot of times, with the public school systems, we're kind of limited to, say, like the holiday travel season, so / fall break, winter break, spring break, and then summer break. So the holiday travel season in Walt Disney World is, again, it's amazing. We just talked about that. And I will say that if you are not locked in to the week between Christmas and New Year's, which is traditionally been the busiest week of the year for Walt Disney World travel, between Christmas and New Year, starting around Christmas Eve or so and kind of lasting a couple of days after, it's you don't have to go during that time unless you want to be there for Christmas. You want to be there for New Year's Eve. If you're not locked into that, right when your kids get out of school, hop in the car, get on a plane, drive down there, and leave on Christmas Eve. My wife and I honeymooned many years ago, the week before Christmas, and all the magic, extra kind of Christmas, seasonal magic was still there. All the things were there, Santa and the different storytellers at Epcot, which are amazing. One of our favorite parts of the holiday season there. So you don't have to go right then. I mean, there's a pretty decent size window that you can go if you're kind of locked into the school schedule for your kiddos. The second thing is this: you can go when kids are not out of school, and you're probably saying, "Wait a minute, what?" But this may not apply. Okay, again, just talked about for those that are locked into kids with school. But say, what if your kids are grown? Maybe they get out of college, for the term a little bit earlier, or they're virtual school, or they're homeschool students, like my family. I know a lot of homeschool families that are awesome, that do a lot of stuff kind of that provides a great amount of educational value year round. And I have some Travelmation friends that are traveling around different parts of the country right now that are homeschool families, educating their kids and whatnot. So if you're a homeschool family, you have a little bit more flexibility. If you are a couple traveling on your honeymoon or an anniversary, or you want to go on an adults only trip or a singles trip, I would recommend, probably pushing it on to late November after Thanksgiving kind of week/weekend. Maybe that first couple of weeks of December is a great time to think about it, because the parks are not going to be as busy. They're definitely going to seem energetic and flowing, and all the things are going to be there for you to experience. So just kind of a couple of different sort of planning tips when it comes to visiting the Walt Disney World Resort during the holiday season. And if you have any planning tips, like if there's anything, like you've been to the Walt Disney World Resort during the holidays before, I would love to hear from you. I would love to hear any comments that you may have tonight. And again, I would love to know what your favorite Disney holiday tradition is, because there are a lot of them. If it's one that is still there in the parks, if it is something that you do at home, something that you watch, if it's a Disneyland thing, if it's a Walt Disney World thing, if it's Disney Cruise Line, one of the other Disney destinations around the world, we'll love to hear about it, because there are a lot of excellent ones that are out there for sure. So let's start off actually and chat a little bit about Disney Cruise Line, because I think it's easy to kind of pass over that. It's a very important Disney destination, as they are back in the water now and welcoming guests back on board some of their ships. Of course, we know the Disney Wish is launching next year. So what does that look like for Disney Cruise Line on during the holidays on the high seas? What does that look like? Well, they have these things called very maritime cruises, and I actually know some folks that are traveling on one this year that I'm super excited for them. I'm going to be living vicariously through them if I'm being honest. They have them over Thanksgiving week, Christmas. There's lots of great options for those cruises. But right now, a lot of people are right in the middle of summer, and it's almost hard to think that far out. But with cruising especially, the closer you wait to book, the longer you wait, typically the more pricey that the cruise fares get and less available they become. And that's very specific for the cruise industry, slightly less so for some of the theme parks, though we are going to talk about availability here in a little bit. But on board, you're going to experience catchy holiday jingles, theme food, and gatherings. And this is from the Disney Parks blog. You're going to be able to hang out with your loved ones and create all sorts of great holiday memories with some of your favorite holiday foods that you're going to be able to hear and see and experience and taste. Also, from November through December, the Disney Cruise Line fleet, as I mentioned, is going to be featuring the Very Merry Time cruises, where holiday magic, and this is just a little bit more detail about those. And again, if you want to learn more, you missed something, feel free to go back to the Disney Parks blog and check out some of this stuff. Holiday magic is unwrapped for the whole family with festive holiday decor, massive Christmas trees, garland, lights, the whole bit. Favorite characters in their finest holiday attire, and a special visit from none other than Santa Claus. So yes, Santa will be there on board with the Very Merry Time cruises. There are a lot of really cool things to experience on board, aside from just the decor and theming. With the decor, though, you walk into that atrium, and that's kind of one of those wow moments that you experience right when you get on board the ship. The trees there are not little things that you would shove in the corner of your living room, unless you have a massive living room. If you do, great, that's awesome. Please invite me. I would love to come see your living room. But anyway, they have a 3-deck tall Christmas tree. It's massive. Again, 3 decks tall, garlands, poinsettias, shimmering lights, all sorts of decorations that are going to be there in and around that tree, and of course, covering different parts of the ship. Santa Claus. So yes, Santa and Mrs. Claus will be there hanging out with you all on the high seas. Of course, just like they have in the parks, characters will be there in holiday attire available. Mickey will be in his Christmas sweater with Pluto with antlers on. Goofy in his full-fledged Santa suit. Gotta love some Santa Goofy. It's one of my favorite things around the holiday season. And also several other characters that will be dressed in their holiday finest as well. And let's not forget one very special place with Disney Cruise Line, and that is this Castaway Cay, or Key, depending on how you may pronounce it. But it's one of the really cool things that you can do there is, of course, white sandy beaches. Sometimes people are not thinking beach during Christmas. I've been to the beach before, around that kind of time of the year ish, but Disney Cruise Line's private island is definitely not to be missed. They do celebrate Christmas on the island, or the holidays on the island. They'll have their own Christmas tree, holiday island music, even snow flurries, a little bit of snow, kind of little festive snow kind of flurrying down and awaiting your family. And basically, this is kind of cheesy, but they say online that the only blue you'll be feeling this holiday season is the color of the crystal clear water. So again, the Very Merry Time cruise, it takes that amazing experience that you get on Disney Cruise Line and kicks it up a notch. So a lot of the offerings that you're used to are there. But again, it's an extra special time of the year to go, and definitely something that you don't want to miss. Also, the holiday season, let's talk about the Walt Disney World Resort. And again, this is just kind of a taste of some of the content that we will be talking about maybe a month or two from now, when we have more details released about the holiday season at Disney. They did release some information about a new after-hours Christmas party event that I do need to tell you all about. The tickets will be released. Tickets, dates, pricing, all that kind of stuff will be available here pretty soon. They will be available for purchase next month. So make sure you mark that on your calendars. If you do have a trip to Walt Disney World just late November and into December, you want to make sure that you put that on your calendar. They will have a special fireworks show, a lot of special food offerings, for characters dressed up and whatnot, attractions open. It's a separate limited ticketed event that will run from 9 p.m. until about 1 a.m. So it's an after hours event. You want to keep your kids up that late? Awesome. Vacation, do it, go all in. But again, it's an after hours event. So definitely still family friendly for sure. So we'll be releasing more information about that here pretty soon. But I'm going to go ahead and kind of give you all just sort of a summary of the holiday season kind of coming back at Walt Disney World. We've already mentioned a few things about it, but the Merry season at Walt Disney World will officially begin on November the 12th at Walt Disney World Resort. Now, that's not a hard start. So if you're coming in early November, say you're coming like the November 1st through 11th. Will you see holiday decor? Yes, you will see it. In fact, when Halloween ends, so October 31st, a lot of the fall decor will come down overnight, if not all of it. And some of the holiday decor, Christmas stuff like trees and maybe some of the garland and things will go up overnight. Not all of it, but a very large amount of it. So there's this really cool switch that happens. So if you're in there, kind of you overlap kind of Halloween into the first part of November, you'll be able to see parts of the holiday season and the kind of fall autumn celebrations and some of the decor that they have for that. So it's kind of a pretty cool moment to be at Walt Disney World Resort. So not only will we have the Walt Disney World Resort celebrating the holidays, but we'll also kind of run hand in hand with the 50th anniversary celebration of the Walt Disney World Resort. So festive entertainment, whimsical decor, seasonal food and drinks, holiday themed merchandise. Gotta love the merchandise. Gotta get your Santa Mickey hat if you don't have one. I usually wear my Santa Mickey hat when I do this episode, so I'm sorry I'm letting y'all down tonight. But again, it's a very special season and time to visit the parks. And again, Disney Resort hotels and Disney Springs as well. But let's talk about Magic Kingdom very briefly. You're going to see holiday projections all around the parks, of course, on Cinderella's castle. And they're also going to do something new this year called the Beacon of Magic, which is this sort of periodic castle transformation that will happen, again, periodically, kind of somewhat random intervals that will light up the castle in a very new and kind of interesting, I guess, exciting way. We haven't seen a lot of really previews. We don't know exactly what that's going to look like or what it's 100% is going to mean yet. What we do know is that if you're used to seeing the dream lights on the castle, so these sort of massive icicle lights cascading all over Cinderella's castle, that will not be present this time around. So we don't know if that's going to come back. I would love to see it. Like, I think it's one of the coolest things to see and experience. And surprisingly, it doesn't take a massive amount of power to run those because they're all LEDs, from what I understand. But hopefully, we'll see that come back in the future, because I think it's just a special thing. This is just kind of me sort of giving you my hot take, I guess. I mean, I like the projections. I think the projection technology that has continued to evolve is absolutely amazing. It's incredible to see what they can do with it these days. I remember the first time I saw it, I'm like, the castle's falling apart. What's happening? Right? But it's just a really cool thing to see. But there's those dream lights are something else for sure. And anyway, so from November 8th to the 21st is the Disney's Very Merriest After Hours event. Again, that special hard-ticketed event that I told you all about. 4 hours of again, festive fun from 9 p.m. to 1 a.m. We'll delight guests with Minnie's wonderful Christmas time fireworks. So it's awesome to see that. Of course, Disney characters throughout the park, holiday music and decor, treats that are included. There's some treats that are included that you will be able to have at no additional cost. And there are some that will be available for purchase. And also with other Disney After Hours events, this is, again, a limited number of tickets to kind of keep wait times down, the crowds down. So it'll be a solid experience. And this is one that a lot of people really look forward to. It won't be the exact carbon copy of the Very Merry Christmas Party that a lot of people are used to, but it will have several familiar elements to it. Again, tickets go on sale next month for that. Over at Disney's Hollywood Studios, Sunset Season Greetings returns to Disney's Hollywood Studios. We'll see the projection shows on the Hollywood Tower Hotel, aka the Tower of Terror. Sunset Boulevard will be decked out for the holiday season, and the Tower of Terror actually transform magically into this sort of area, transform into a snowy corner of Arendelle, from Frozen, but also a Muppet gingerbread house. So to kind of see the Tower of Terror transform into that with this projection technology they've got is really cool. A Toy Story hotel, a Dickensian village, so like from the Christmas, Mickey's Christmas Carol, will also alternate with the tower's nightly transformation into a beacon of magic as well. So again, this is kind of a thing that you'll see at more than one park. It's not just not just one part. I'm sorry about the sounds there. Usually I mute that, so we're not hearing that. But anyway, Santa Claus will bring some North Pole cheer to a motorcade down Hollywood Boulevard. So you will see that special motorcade, kind of holiday cavalcade at Disney's Hollywood Studios. Of course, there's going to be a Frozen sing-along celebration, a lot of other different holiday food offerings, vintage themed decor. I love the vintage feel, even the music. They don't just throw in some holiday music. They play a lot of the vintage sort of like 40s 50s kind of style of music, like Rat Pack kind of stuff. You'll hear some of that in and around Hollywood Studios, and it's pretty neat if you like that style of Christmas music. So it's pretty good stuff. Also, over at Disney's Animal Kingdom Park, you'll see the return of much seasonal decor and festive Disney character flotillas, because remember, they don't have cavalcades. They have flotillas over at Disney's Animal Kingdom Park. Down and around the Discovery River, to hear the joyful songs and kind of sounds of the season. Then the Tree of Life becomes another beacon of magic. Most nights during the 50th anniversary celebration and during the holiday season, there's even more magic inspired by it, as the holiday edition of the Tree of Life Awakenings also takes place most nights. So the Beacon of Magic is sort of a 50th anniversary celebration element, and that's going to alternate with kind of the holiday theming. So just be on the lookout for that. So if you're going, you're thinking, man, I'm going through the holidays, it's going to be all holiday stuff, and they're not doing the 50th anniversary for those. No, they're doing that. You're going to experience both, which again is one of the reasons why I think it's an excellent time to go. Disney Springs, of course, it doesn't cost anything to get into Disney Springs, as long as you can find a parking place or take a walk over one of the bridges from one of the hotels or across the street and get over there. The tree trail or tree stroll will be there. Of course, many of the restaurants will be offering their own holiday offerings, lots of holiday decor for you to experience. And of course, go do your holiday shopping while you're there, because there's lots of holiday shopping as well, down from matching family pajamas to spirit jerseys and ornaments. Of course, there's the Christmas store at Disney Springs, which is a must stop for me every time we're there. We want to make sure that we get an annual ornament to commemorate our trip. They may even have some personalizations available for you on some of them to commemorate your trip. They do have some hotels that have their own ornaments, not all of them. Some of them are going to be available at the Disney Springs Christmas store. There are even some attractions that may have one as well for you. Shout out to the Country Bear Jamboree, one of my favorites. So it was kind of hard to find. Over at Epcot, now Epcot is, some people are like, well, I've only got 2 days, 3 days, may not go to Epcot. Go to Epcot during the holiday season. Go to Epcot during the holiday season. I cannot say that enough. When my wife and I went on our honeymoon many, many years ago, we did an open to close day at Epcot. Now we were by ourselves, so we kind of went in a little bit different pace. But I think, and this, she may agree with me, but I think she probably would agree with me based on something she said earlier. But our day at Epcot over our honeymoon was probably the best day of the entire trip. Each country traditionally has had their own storyteller that has come out, sort of told about the holiday traditions from their own country. Of course, the American Pavilion has Santa, Mrs. Claus. Over in the UK Pavilion, you have Father Christmas. So you have these different sort of Santa, Father Christmas figures that pop up and sort of tell their own story. So also, Spaceship Earth will become the Beacon of Magic as well, and kind of alternate with some of the holiday productions and experiences that you'll see. The Epcot International Festival of the Holidays will return this year from November 26th to December 30th. Again, the Epcot International Festival of the Holidays will return this year from November 26th to the 30th. December 30th, with holiday kitchens around the park, performances by Voices of Liberty. If you've never heard Voices of Liberty, you need to. Their holiday set is one that is definitely not to be missed. And of course, the guest favorite cookie stroll. So, and more. So you got your food, you got your Christmas cookies, you got your Santa, you've got wonderful attractions. Of course, an amazing nighttime show that we're going to be able to experience as well in Harmonious that will be running at that time. So I highly recommend for you to plan a trip and spend some intentional time at Epcot. Definitely don't cross it off your list. You will not be disappointed if you spend some time there. There's just something extra fun about it. I mean, even when you go, because like they're every country around the world that celebrates the holiday season doesn't do it the same way that we do in the US or Canada or UK. It's really cool to kind of pop over to the Germany Pavilion because Christmas is definitely a thing there, and see how they celebrate it. And the garland is actually left up a little bit longer there. But I don't know why. It just is. I've been to Disney a couple of times in mid to late January, and it's still up there. Maybe sometimes playing Christmas music in other parts, and sometimes even if you're there in the first second week of January, you will see some of the decorations up and around the park. So again, I would love to hear. And here's a direct quote from my wife. Epcot was the best. So yeah, she does agree with me. So thank you, Tanya, for tuning in tonight. And by the way, we are going to be having her back on the show at some point. So I spent last week, we didn't have an episode last week. I spent last Tuesday night, kind of going through and kind of brainstorming, thinking about where we're going to take Travel Tips Tuesday, some new potential topics, maybe even guest new segments that we're going to be working on. So it's not just going to be Disney news and then, one other thing we kind of follow. I'm definitely looking to kick it up a notch. So if you have any specific topic ideas or guests or others, things that you would like to see come on the show, please let me know. The last thing I'll cover is this. If you are looking to take a vacation, a trip to the Walt Disney World Resort during the holiday season this year, I would even say from October all the way to the end of the year, go ahead and start planning now. The reason why I say this is that resort availability is booking up. It's booking up, it's booking up, it's booking up. I can't say that fast enough. I have a lot of clients that can't get the exact dates or can't get the exact resort hotel they want, even starting in around October because of parks reopening. People are excited. They want to be there. They want to experience the magic. Now, I will also add, didn't say this up front, but I will also add that the Port Orleans resorts, both of them will be reopened by this time in the fall. I think they reopen. One opens, I think Riverside opens October 14th, and Port Orleans French Quarter, off the top of my head, I believe opens October 28th. Also, the other two All-Star resorts are opening as well. One of them will be opening not until December the 9th, but again, all that to say is there is more resort hotel availability coming as they're able to increase the transportation capacity and cast members to support everything from dining to housekeeping to back of house, front of house managing in the hotels. All the things, all the people and kind of bodies that it takes. College program cast members are back. They've rehired lots of people and brought a lot of folks back. So it's an exciting time to go, y'all. I mean, there's a massive amount of hope that is circling the travel world right now, and it's such an exciting time to go and to explore and to see what other magic is out there. So highly recommend you go ahead and start planning that trip. You'll get hopefully the best pick of availability. If there is a deal that comes out, if dining plans are released, which Disney did say they're coming back, but they're not quite ready to say when just yet. If they are released, that's something we can always add on afterwards, but we want to make sure that you have the hotel and dates that work best for you. So if you have any questions about that, please let me know. As always, I don't charge anything extra for my planning services, but I would love to help you make sure that you have a magical trip and reduce that hassle as much as possible. So thank you all so much for joining me on Travel Tips Tuesday. We do look forward to seeing you again next week. We hope you have a magical rest of your weekend. Bye-bye.